when usually the temperatures go up, 40, 45, some days 50, up and down a little bit. Maple syrup starts, or sap rather, starts to run, and folks start boiling sap for maple syrup. None of that has started yet because the temperatures have been so cold. So in the midst of that, one day we happened to have, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to transition over and say hi. Hi, everybody. So one day about a week and a half ago, we had a 50-degree day. And like today, it was just brilliant sunlight and, the beautiful blue sky that happens in winter, at least in the northeast of the United States. I went outside on my deck to sit down and just take in some sunlight. When I came back in and closed the door, I had company. Look at that. She's been here all this time. And I've been frantically, worrying and trying to figure out how to keep this beautiful creature alive. She seems very self-sufficient. And I had to go away for a couple days. It hasn't been particularly easy to figure out how to feed this sweet creature. I don't know that she has had anything that I have given her. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how this creature got here in the middle of one of the worst winters we've ever had. It's very, very early for her to have arrived here. So I started wondering last night, actually, if perhaps because of global warming and because of all the storms that have been coming across the country and up the East Coast, if maybe the wind just blew her here. I don't know. But given the readings that have been coming out, and all the things that spirit messages that have been coming to me about these moments, whoops, there she goes. I thought, I guess I have to change it up. I don't take these kind of events lightly. It's really magical for a butterfly to show up. I think it's 25 degrees here today. So I can't let her out. She'll die. And I thought, I don't know how she's going to survive in my house, but she seems to be doing okay. And I just put out little bits of water for her. So clearly, given the fact that the messages have been about the process of metamorphosis and the settling in to this new phase that we're in and emerging and evolving, and that message has been coming out really strongly since we moved through the solstice. And all right, I'm going to go get her. Hang on a second. Because I want her to speak to us, if possible. She's a little nervous today with the computer, I think. Come on, sweetie. There we go. Okay. So, yesterday she was content to just hang out on my shirt. Today, when I started getting ready for the reading, for the first time, I saw her beginning to fly. I think she was a little bit injured and, unable to move in the way that she's accustomed to. So let's take a look. First of all, I want to go to the animal medicine cards and take a look at the information for butterfly. And it's no mystery. I'm sure most of you can intuit what that information is about. And then we'll do the cards. Okay? So I'm going to toggle back to my YouTube software. See, oh, people are here. Hi. Primary Feathers. Hi, honey. Tani, I'm glad you're here. And Cass, hi. Okay, I always have a little panic attack about all this software, as you guys know, because it's beyond me, basically. So, all right, let's read. I'm going to read from the animal medicine cards and just sort of start with this notion of butterfly. And it's so exciting to me that she's here and that she's still alive, because I really felt she's not going to make it. She'll be here 2 days, and then that'll be the end of this sweet little girl. I don't know why I'm calling her a girl, but I am. No offense to anybody. Okay, so I got to put my granny glasses on because I'm nearsighted now. All right, butterfly. Here we go, honey. You want to sit up here? Let's see if I can get her to sit up here on the book for a minute. She's been very gracious about me moving her around. But she really likes to just sit on my shirt. And anywhere else I ask her to go, she's not so happy about that. Come on, sweetheart. All right, let's see if we can get her to sit right up there while I read. You think so? Maybe? Okay. Butterfly, of course, is about transformation. The power that butterfly brings to us is akin to the air. It is the mind and the ability to know the mind or to change it. It is the art of transformation. To use butterfly medicine, you must astutely observe your position in the cycle of self-transformation. Like butterfly, you are always at a certain station in your life activities. You may be at the egg stage, which is the beginning of all things. This is the stage at which an idea is born, but has not yet come to reality. The larva stage is the point at which you decide to create the idea in the physical world. There she goes. The cocoon stage involves going within, and I think that's where we've been very deeply all of last year, and then this discussion that Spirit's been having with me about emerging and evolving been coming through the cards quite loudly if you've been following along with the readings. So in the cocoon stage, we are doing or developing a project, an idea, or an aspect of ourselves, our personality. And the final stage is transformation. It's the leaving of the chrysalis and the birth of what is to come. The last step involves sharing the colors and the joy of your creation with the world. So this morning when I was reading this, I was really struck by that little passage. Because, you know, the transformation that we've been under together, and I'm part of that, that's what Spirit's been talking about. Creating this tapestry, weaving something together in order to offer that to those around us and to the collective, so that we can join our energies, our colors, so to speak. So, you know, euphemistically, imagine how thrilled I am as a person to have this event happen here. Never seen anything like that in my life. Anybody who might know about that, I tried to look it up online to figure out what kind of butterfly this was, and it must be a migrator. I don't know, but I would love for you guys to teach me about that, because I think there's more knowledge for us embedded in that notion. Okay, so let me just continue to read these passages, and then we'll go to the cards. Let's see my girlfriend. She's sitting on a pillow right next to me. Okay. If you look closely at what butterfly is trying to teach, you will realize that it is the never-ending cycle of self-transformation. The way to discern where you are in this cycle is to ask yourself, is this the egg stage? Am I just having a thought or an idea? Is this the larva stage, or do I need to make a decision? Am I in the cocoon stage? Am I developing and doing something to make my idea a reality? And is this the birth stage? Am I sharing my completed idea? And it's interesting. I had a beautiful reading yesterday with somebody who was talking very much, the cards were coming through, and the person with whom I was doing the reading was having these kinds of thoughts and feelings inside of themselves. It's time for me to move forward. I'm not sure where I'm at. What am I supposed to do? Which is always one of the questions, right? I have those questions too. So by asking yourself these questions, you will discover how butterfly is relating to you at this moment. When you understand where you are, the symbol can teach you what to do next in order to continue the cycle of self-transformation. If you have found the position through which you are cycling, you will see the creativity of butterfly medicine. Using the air or mental powers of this medicine is done with ease. As an example, if you've been feeling exhausted and have asked how to heal your fatigue, take notice of the colors that you've been drawn to. Does your body feel better when you are dressed in green? Could this mean that you need to eat more green vegetables? It's things like that. So butterfly medicine can bring clarity to your mental process, help you organize the project that you are undertaking in your personal life or your career. The main message to be obtained from this animal medicine is that you are ready to undergo some type of complete transformation. Of course. So for me, this has been really a confirmation of all the things that are coming through. And I'm always really grateful when that happens for me as a card reader and as a channeler. It's just such a supreme gift to have this happening in this, most unusual of ways. I take it to mean that there's a confirmation of the messages that have been coming through the cards, and a desire on the side of spirit to have me look deeper. So let's go to the cards and see what they're telling us about these moments. And, in the meantime, I'm looking at the chat. I know, Tanny, huh? If you're willing, if it feels comfortable, put some messages on the chat while I'm shuffling and bringing the cards out. What is going on with you folks? I'm really curious because I know there's something on some level. And I'm glad the reading from the book broke down the idea of the stages. And in fact, one of the things I was talking about yesterday was the stages of change. And, if you look online, you want to see about that sort of from a psychological, psychosocial point of view. Just like there are stages of grief, there are stages of change. And the first stage is you don't know you need to change. And then things progress from there, depending on your life circumstances, your personality, your astrological wheel, Spirit says, and Spirit saying, and all the rest of it, meaning just the minutia of life and the destiny that you came in to fulfill. So that also has been a topic lately for about 3 weeks, throughout March when I've been doing private readings. Those are the things that are coming through the cards. And the people who show up for the readings, which doesn't surprise me anymore in these moments, are folks who actually are in some sort of process of change, a fairly radical change in their lives, making a decision to really move forward in some way. All right, so I wish you could see her. She doesn't seem content today to just sit, and I think it's because she's got her wings back finally. She's flitting around the house a little bit, but I'm really... Hi, Kiki. Glad to have you here. So, I'm just going to shuffle till the cards come out. Okay, primary feathers. Your chat just started working. Yeah, you know what? I apologize. I'm going to have to figure this out. I think YouTube settings do not support private live streaming. That's the bottom line, basically, of these challenges. So I'm going to continue. I've got a very fabulous elf-like helper in the background who magically knows things that I don't know anything about or has the capacity to figure them out. So I'm just going to ask Spirit in this moment while we're talking about transformation to please help me figure this out. There are streaming platforms that I could utilize that do not belong to YouTube, but it's really expensive. And until the live stream numbers of subscribers goes up, I can't afford to do it. Darn it. So I guess I'm assuming that that's going to change. Either that or YouTube is going to change what they're doing. They used to have the ability for people to have like a pay-per-view channel. So I thought that's what I was getting into when I was doing live stream. And it doesn't seem to be the case. So I'll figure it out. But thanks for your patience. I appreciate it. And I'm going to send everybody the link for the video that is going to be archived after the reading is done, just to make sure you all have it. Okay. All right. So, okay. Ingrid saying the chat issue was on your end. Oh my gosh. Primary Feather says some butterflies hibernate in the winter and come out when it gets warm. I did not know that. Hi, Tani from San Francisco. Kiki, where are you chiming in from? And am I saying your name right? All right. So I'm going to see if our girlfriend will come up and sit with me. I think the energy of the streaming and the channeling is a little freaky for her, maybe. But I want to see if we can tune in through her. The Spirit's telling me yes. So let me see if I can just gently ask her to come sit here, okay? Hang on a sec. Come on, sweetheart. You know what? She's sitting on a pillow. There she is. I'm going to just put the pillow on the desk. She seems really comfortable on this pillow. She keeps flying to it. So I'm just going to put her over here on the desk and then ask her to chime in and help channel the messages in whatever way. Oh, there. Now she's there. Okay. We'll see if we can just put her right there so you guys can see her. Maybe. Come on, sweetie. Yeah, she's very... I think because whatever it was that was keeping her from flying, that seems to be resolving. So she's on the move today in a way that I haven't seen. It might be because of all the energy. All right. Hi, Lorraine. Glad to have you here. So I'm just shuffling the cards, guys, and we'll see what comes out. And whatever this moment, given all the messages that have been coming through in the readings, the monthly readings and the private readings, I just would like to hear a little bit from Spirit about the notion of transformation and, going through the stages of change. As a collective and as individuals in the collective. One of the other things that's been coming to my mind lately is something called the hive mentality. And I have a long story, maybe that'll be another live stream, about something that happened while I was building this house. And some reason... Oh! Your name is Kia? Oh, nickname is Kiki. That's adorable. I like both of them. From North Carolina. Hey, glad to have you here. All right. Can anybody see the butterfly? Has she is she? I can't see her. So if she's on my back, I need to be really, really careful. I don't know where she went. She's flying around the house today. All right. So I'm just going to get a little quiet for a minute and see what channels through. Okay. Well, here we go. Interesting. So 3 cards just dropped right out of the deck. Actually 4. No, 3. Okay. So here's the first card. And, oddly enough, I'm going to have to switch back to my other software because when I'm in this YouTube software, I cannot see what is streaming, which is one of the challenges that I've been having. That's really bizarre. I don't know why. Okay. It's easier for me to do this if I can see myself. Okay. Look at that. Revelation of knowledge. So most of you have probably seen this card. Spirit's talking to me about numerology. So go and look up the number 9, apparently. This is a story about a warrior. And, when Spirit talks through these cards, clearly we're speaking about ourselves, right? So that's the human condition, Spirit says. We all slumber. I actually was talking about this yesterday. So this story, the mythology of this card, it's about being very advanced in a position of transformation. It is about, because of that process and the way we're going through that process, there's a lot of knowledge that is beginning to be revealed to us. So this gentleman was a warrior. So we're talking about male energy, which is very interesting. The impetus to move things forward, the drive, so to speak. He lived a long time. He was the last survivor after an epic battle. Having lived hundreds of years, Spirit's saying. And in the end of his days, he did not have to go through a normal human death process. He actually just began to transform, to shapeshift. So I think, this card is being chosen because the butterfly is here, and the notion of shapeshifting through a transitional period in order to attain a transformation. So that is elk, and the animal medicine for elk is about having stamina for a very long journey. So I love this. And here's the light of the sun, having come across the waters of change. There are a lot of metaphors you can attach to that, right, as you look at the card. And having come through this journey with me, I know that you have the capacity to understand. And whatever comes to you, value that. It has meaning for you, definitely. And it may have meaning for all of us. So if you feel so inclined, share it on the chat. Okay? All right, so I'm going to focus on the cards now just to keep my energy clear. And I'll check back into the chat in a little bit. All right, so there we are. Clearly, transformation. Having gone through the stages of change and growth and life, etc. And now these moments have come where we're meant to be different. We're meant to have been through this evolutionary process. No surprise, right? You know what I think? If I can, I don't know if I can do it. I will send a photo of the card reading to all of you who are on the live stream list. So you'll just have the photo of the cards because I don't think I can add it after the fact to the video, unfortunately. Spirit's telling me another reason to find a new platform. So send me some energy for that. I don't know how it's going to happen. I've learned not to worry about it too much, that will evolve at some point when it's right. All right, so that's the spirit message over the top. Okay. The notion of transformation, and not just transformation, the revelation of knowledge that comes with the transformation. Having had this really long, epic journey. And being strong enough to have made the shift, Spirit says. All right. So the card that comes underneath that is a card that indicates us in our human form. Look at that. That's a major arcana card. And that is the mover of energy. Isn't that fantastic? I love it. Sometimes I'm just so happy about the way the cards come out because I do feel the movement, the desire of the message, I guess is what's coming through. I feel that unfolding. And when it shows up in the cards, I get very excited. Because, I'm just a regular person like you guys. I don't know where this gift comes from. I don't know why I have it. So I always, like you, I want a little confirmation. There is that beautiful woman. She has choices. She's activated. Very highly activated. It is her activation and her energy that causes movement and the ability to have choices. It's not the horses. That's just a metaphor, Spirit says. This would be, in the traditional tarot, this would be the tarot card. So in Soul Tarot, this is aligned with the Sacred Mother. It is about moving, again, through a portal because it's feminine energy. So, again, we have the yin and yang. Okay, this is the first card out. That's male-informed energy. Making the transition and join together with the feminine energy. In order to, sorry, it's always backwards. In order to have the movement and the shift and change occur, requires the power that is inherent in the actual movement of energy that we, on this planet, Spirit says, we call it yin and yang. It's about blending the energy that actually exists and understanding how that creates transformation and change. See if I can hold this up in a way so you can see the cards. All right, so the revelation of knowledge and the mover of energy. That's really beautiful. And the other thing I like about this, because, again, confirmation for me, right? I've been saying it. And, the part of me that's insecure, I think, I hope it's true, because I'm saying all this stuff and I'm getting these messages and I don't know. right? I mean, on some level, I'm very clairvoyant, but I would never seek to say that I know I'm the whatever. I'm just a lady. So, the fact that the energy has come through in all of the ways I've been talking about, and now we're seeing it in the cards, the balance of male and female energy, both indicating shift and change and movement with alignment with the spirit realm, is very significant to me, given the way the readings have come out. So if you haven't seen the readings from the beginning of the year forward, definitely check it out. And, if you're somebody who likes to binge watch, Spirit always says this, go look at last year. Or whatever moments in your life, last year, whatever months were really intense for you, go look at those readings. And always, one of the things I do is I have some of my favorite astrologers on YouTube. I go and listen to their videos because it helps me understand the message that's coming through in the channeled way to me. I like to back that up, so to speak, by looking at, well, what's happening in the cosmos? Because obviously that has an effect, right? So, interestingly enough, the first card on the human realm is about devotion. And there's the lover of devotion. So, the Spirit's saying do this. So, this woman, her abundance rests at her heart chakra. She's very clear. There's an indication that she is activated at the third eye. She had 2 suitors. She didn't know at first what she wanted to do. Did she want to choose one of these lovers and devote her life to that? And eventually, she had to go deep inside to figure out what was the nature of her devotion. And it was the devotion that she felt in her heart chakra to the spirit realm that helped her make the decision about what her life was going to be about. So, in the traditional tarot, people would assume that this is about lovers coming in. Here in Soul Tarot, it's about the nature of your devotion and your love for the devotion you feel in your heart, however you practice that. Being very primary. Do you see how the suitors are in the background and her process is in the forefront? And so the message that's coming through is, in your own life, that's how, in these moments, coming through 2018, and I think I've said it in various ways, we're going to be in this process now. It's going to really shift and change. The nature of what's coming through the cards has changed a lot. I'm going to see if we can pull out the next cards for the human realm. And, what's channeling through Spirit saying is, just think about everything metaphorically, the butterfly showing up here. I've never, I'm still kind of blown away by that. And the fact that she's alive, I don't know what's keeping her alive, but I'm putting little things out for her. She doesn't seem to want to have any interest in them. So, Spirit, what is the nature of the transformation that we're undergoing? Where are we going? Because we see the mover of energy. So clearly, Spirit's alerting us. We're traveling. We're traveling on deeper into our devotion on a human realm. And it may actually be even in your physical body, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your dreams, little moments of inspiration that come to you. It likely will have something to do with that which you would like to devote yourself or have already devoted yourself to. You might find your spiritual life becoming more central for you. I don't really advocate proselytizing. For some people, it works. Whatever that's about, it's Spirit saying upfront and personal. Spirit's talking about the card, the fact that the woman is in the forefront. So, again, sort of a desire for each of us to focus on our own lives first and our own transformation first. Okay. So there's the next card. I love this card. So, again, I just want to make note. Spirit always wants me to talk about this. Sorry. All right, male and female energy. aligned. So this comes first. And then followed by this card. I think most of you have seen this at some point. This is another major arcana card. So that's telling me that this energy, the movement of this energy, we've had 3 major arcana cards in this reading already. This is the Rememberer of Lore. It's about the sacred bard. And, you know, it's interesting because the mover, which is us in this reading, aligned with the sacred mother. Okay? The Rememberer of Lore aligned with sacred male energy. The gods, Spirit says. So it's about coming to a place in your life, again, a central place, in order to move the energy and the vibration, the music, if you will, forward into the forefront of your life, bringing it into a central place. The Rememberer of Lore is someone who seeks to receive and disseminate sacred information. So, again, Spirit's talking to me about the tapestry that I talked about a lot. I'm being corrected. Spirit talked about last year through me, and probably through lots of other people is my guess. So let's see what comes on the heels of that. So as I think what I'm getting is, you know what? It's interesting. Here's the next card. Isn't that amazing? There's the spiral of destiny. So we've seen 2 indications so far of vibrational music. So, you know, I would almost be tempted to say, whoops, wrong card. If you're drawn to that, I would listen to some music to stimulate what is within you, Spirit says, to come forward, and so that you can recapture it. So this is about, you know, it's interesting. Spirit was talking about proselytizing. Okay, I think the message on the human realm for this month, let me hold all the cards up so you can see them. Actually, this goes this way. Get really clear with yourself about where your devotion lies, what it is that inspires you. And it doesn't have to be spiritually based per se. There is a desire on the spirit realm to have you understand yourself in this way so that the rest of your life can unfold. Because all of our lives have everything to do with our spiritual reality. And then there's the, you know, the job you have, the family you have. Okay, Spirit saying the car you drive. You know, there's the minutia, but it's based in these notions, reflecting out. Okay, there's more coming, but let me finish this thought. So we have the desire to understand where our devotion rests within us. And then we have this idea, oh, I got them backwards, didn't I? Hang on. The notion of remembering. From this place of devotion, we will remember the sacred lore and bring it into this central place in our lives. And these things are very connected to the spirit realm. Because you know what? That's how this sits on the table. That's pretty amazing. Both connected with the gods, so to speak, the sacred mother, the sacred father, that type of energy. So I like that they're aligned in this manner. And then the last card on the human realm, the turning of destiny, where we as individuals have the ability to recapture that which was lost in a very mysterious way. And it's a very artful adventure that we're going on this year. I love that. So, hang on, I just got to make a little room on my table. I've got so much stuff here. I'm going to switch back for a second, see if I can read some of the chat. Hang on, guys. Hey, Sag. All right, Jessc. I have no idea how to say that, but hello, I'm glad you're here. The Aussie Goddess. Capricorn, yay. Hey, you know what? Somebody please teach me how to put the emojis there. I'm such a nerd I cannot figure out, no offense to all the fabulous nerds out there, but maybe the word is dork. I have no idea how to do that. I don't know. Is it because you're on your phone, maybe, and you can do it from your phone? I can't do that from my computer for some reason. I don't know why that happens. 1, 2, 3, you checked in. Thank you. Let me see who else is here. Hang on. I'm going to scroll up in the chat. Lorraine. Okay, Lorraine says today is 18. Oh, that's right. Thank you for that. That's fabulous. Isn't that amazing? I'm getting a chill now. That's awesome. Let's see. Let me just see what some of the messages are saying. Okay. I think I got it. Okay, you can't see her. I don't know where she is. I'm just afraid to sit back and squish her, you know. No, she's on the blanket. All right, she's good. It's interesting because she's real. When I've been in the house, she just really wants to hang out with me. And right now, it's just too much energy for her, maybe. Or maybe she's in the process of feeling better and getting ready to fly away. But I'm afraid to open the door and let her out because I don't know. I don't know if a butterfly has the ability to withstand these type of cold temperatures. And maybe she was hibernating. And she came out because we had a spate of warm weather for about a week and a half. It was fabulous. And then it got cold again. Then we had one more warm day. So maybe that kind of messed up her process. So I'm wondering if that is part of the message that's going to come out about things that happen when we don't expect them. And the type of... Spirit's talking about insecurity that comes with change that is not anticipated. There's a message coming through about, you know, the effects of global warming being something for us. There's the card, just jumped out. Okay. This is what Spirit was trying to say. Being in a place where, in a moment, we don't expect to be born. It just happens, and we don't have any control over it, per se. And talking about the butterfly, yes, I guess it does have something to do with global warming because the temperature's been very erratic. So maybe this butterfly was hibernating somewhere. I'm really fascinated to find that out. So given everything that's come out in the cards, here's the bridge. Look at that. And you know what? Once I got to switch back to my other software so I can make sure that when I show you the card, you can actually see it. There we go. That's the transition card, the bridge that connects the human journey to the spirit intention. That is, you know what, guys, I'm getting a chill. Okay, that's the soul, obviously, the beginning. This card sits above this card in the reading. Okay. Let me see if I can hold it up like this. All right, there we go. So, that is the lover of devotion. This is the liberator of devotion. There is a giant transformation coming. And I'm feeling the energy actually inside myself of the notion of a butterfly. You know, something breaks out and then begins to lift and fly and have a new connection, a new notion, and a new awareness of itself in its new form and understanding where it came from. And that's why on the human realm we're seeing the last card is this. It's about going on this artful adventure to recapture something through the liberation of our devotion. And I love that the first card is that. Revelation. Isn't that beautiful? The way the theme is coming out. All right, let's see. You know, for 3 or 4 months, if you've been following along, see this guy? He's sitting on the top of the deck now. he just kept showing up. The warrior of art. So Spirit just wanted me to show that to you and remind you, this is the place from which you have emerged. This was the human cocoon. This year of 2017, and going into the days of the solstice and the journey that I had into the passage tombs, right? This, on some level, in traditional tarot, this would be the death card. Isn't that interesting? Spirit wants me to talk about it. There you go. Reminding us what the process has been. What our, Spirit's talking about the pupa and the larva and all that kind of stuff, okay? Our emergence has come in this way. It's really beautiful. So let me see, Spirit, what is the reflection of this knowledge, of this revelation, of the shift and change, as we begin to prepare to lift our wings on this new journey in a new form, having had the stamina for the long journey and having gone through the liberation that all the portals that opened and closed last year brought to us, including the solstice and all the full moons, right? We've had the cycles of the moon really intense, and there are 2 this month. I think the next one is on the 31st of the month. Okay, Spirit's talking to me about the new moon. Does anybody know when is the new moon occurring? Our card just flipped right out. All right, there we go. Look at that. That's the first step on the spirit realm. And that is the protector of lore. Love that the protector of lore is here. This is about being connected with the information and the knowledge and the ground, so to speak, of the ancients. You see the glyph? And there's the spiral. Another major arcana card. And so on the left-hand side of this reading now, we have 3 major arcana cards. I'm going to try to put them together so you can see them. These cards are really giant. Okay, Spirit's telling me to talk about Caitlin Matthews. I guess I forgot to say it. That is the woman that developed these cards. She's an amazing person. Check her out online, okay? So there we go. The beautiful lover of devotion. The liberator of devotion. And the protector of lore on the left side of the reading. And in the human realm, we have the rememberer of lore. So it's interesting to me to see the way the energy rises through the reading and how it is reflected, you know, when things start the transition process and we start moving into the spirit realm of the cards, how that is reflected in the human journey that Spirit is speaking with us about is always very fascinating, very satisfying to me. And part of what I attempt to do is to help people understand that reflection so that we can see ourselves. We're all in a process of becoming more aware of that part of the reality of our being, Spirit says. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm getting a message from the butterfly. Hang on. Where are you, girlfriend? Okay. It's almost time to fly, right? I mean, it sounds a little bit silly, but that's what I'm getting. And no doubt, I wish spring would hurry up so I can let this little girl out of the house. All right. Hang on just a second. You know what, I'm going to toggle back so I can see the chat while I wait for the next card to come out. Okay, let's see. Okay, Jess wants to know if I'm an intuitive or a psychic. You know what? I'm not sure I know the answer to that. I'm just me. I am sometimes extremely psychic. I just know things. Things come to me. I do astral travel. I have prophetic dreams. I just have a lot of planets in the 12th house. If you saw my chart, you'd understand. It took me, I think I just got my chart done last year. And I thought, oh, for the first time, now I know myself, like I get it. So I had a lot of clairvoyant members of the female members of my lineage, very clairvoyant. And it's one of the reasons I went back to Ireland to have that journey, because I thought I want to connect with my own background and see how that would inform me. So I'm a little bit of all those things. I don't try to do things like predict the future. That's not my gig, if you know what I mean. So in some ways I think, well, I'm not like a traditional psychic. I think the best word to describe who I am is I'm a channel. And I have a lot of clairvoyance, so things just pop into my head. Let's see. New moon in Pisces. Tani, thank you. I had a feeling. Yesterday. All right. I'm a Virgo with Aries rising. It's been a very interesting, challenging mix for me to learn how to wield that energy. I'm very grounded, and at the same time, I'm sort of fiery and don't get in my way. That's how it feels on the inside. I'm just going to find a way right through it or around it because what is meant to happen is going to happen. So it's interesting that I personally find it kind of interesting that I have that blend. All right, let's see. One, two, three, you're a Cancer sun and Aries moon, Virgo ascendant. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? All right, so let's see. Lorraine, you're telling me, huh. All right, I'm going to check it out. I want to figure out how to do the emojis, because people leave emojis on the messages below the video sometimes. I can't figure out how to do it. All right. You know what? This card has come to the top of the deck probably about 12 times. And I kept shuffling, and I think now I'm getting the messages. This is what Spirit wants to show. All right, so that's really interesting. The elopement of battle. And what I love about this, see that? Look at that guy. Slumbering, transforming. Spirit says, upon the earth. Look, in the spirit realm, there is a release happening. And it's interesting because it's been coming through a lot of the readings too. This notion of having been bound by this sacred golden rope, right? And that's Hawk. So we'll look at Hawk medicine. If I forget, let me know. But there's the Hawk shamaness, right? Here to snap the whip, break the chain, break the bonds that have been holding us in order to be released into the light. As you slumber as a spirit being on the earth, having your travel as a soul being. So clearly, this transformation is reflected. There is an awakening, there is an opening, there is a shift and change coming. It's very interesting. And, that story, the story behind this card, in part, I said another card sort of reflective of this came up yesterday, is about having, Spirit saying two words to me. I'm getting eons and I'm getting decades. So it's about the distant past and the recent past and the shift and change that is coming because there has been a progressive, talking about the butterfly again, the step-by-step process of change and awakening that our souls are going through that is reflective of our journey here on earth. Spirit always says heaven on earth, okay? So that's interesting. And that sits on the table right above the mover of energy. I like it. And you know, the mover of energy reflecting us, because in this moment we're doing a group reading basically about the collective. Okay. I love it. Look. Okay, this is the first card out, the revelation of knowledge. This is the last card on the spirit realm, the revelation of art. They sit together. Whatever this moment is, you know, okay, Spirit's talking about the passing of spring. As March closes, and well, here in the United States, right, where I am, it's kind of the end of winter. You know, technically the solstice is coming in a couple of days. Things are shifting and changing. Spring is coming on for us. Along with the change of season, it doesn't matter where you are. So change of season physically, literally, and change of season for us as beings. I love it. Right? So what's interesting about this, again, male energy, feminine energy. Always needing to be cycling through the shift and change that each piece of this energy whole, of the energetic whole, if you will, brings. This is the goddess of sovereignty. It was her ability. She was also a psychic. She was a channel. And she had the ability to see into the future, to name those people that were going to be in a sacred lineage of kings. So coming in this manner together is a very powerful message. And there is a prophecy about our destiny as beings as we shift and change, because this is here also on one side of the central core of the reading. So very clear, very well confirmed type of message for us today. Quite beautiful. So let's get the outcome card. I'll put that down and then I'll toggle over and we'll be able to chat, okay? I'm going to look at the chat while I shuffle. Let's see what you guys are up to. Hang on a sec. Always takes me a moment to toggle over. Karine, thank you. You know, as many of you have heard me say, I never expected to be doing this. I was kind of hiding, you know. I just didn't want to, I didn't want to deal with it. And I guess that's part of what we're all going through. It's like at some point, there comes a moment. You have to step, I was going to say step out. Spirit says, step up to your life. Whatever you know deep inside of you, that's why the butterfly's here, right? To bring this, what's that called? An analogy, right? A metaphor about sometimes it's just time for us to step deeper in to what we know to be true for ourselves. And the energy that cycles because of that is what makes the rest of your life unfold. The Spirit says, and everything you do is perfect because it brings us to these moments. Okay. Yeah, these cards are amazing, aren't they? I know. Lorraine, it's so dang cold. Okay, 1, 2, 3 says that I'm seeing that you're a musician. You have music, you're trying to get your music out there. Tell us about that. Let's talk about it. In fact, okay, so Spirit's pushing me now. Anybody who wants to talk about their transformation or what their desire is, what their sacred dream is, what that devotion is inside of you, start the energy right here if you haven't done it. Or give yourself a little boost by speaking it out loud into this little collective that we have going. 1, 2, 3. I'm looking at that typo. It's making me laugh. Thank you. Kareen, thank you. You know, I try to be really humble. And I always think that's part of our job, is to sort of be exalted in a spiritual way, but be really spirit biting my own tongue. I was gonna say quiet, but a spirit saying just reverent, just be with it, just be with it, and things will unfold. Okay, you're in London. It's snowing in London. How often does that happen? Oh my gosh. Your music and you. Okay. I want to know something about. So, I don't know how to say that. Is it Jicky or Jikey Droppy? Is that your music name? Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's the outcome. Love it. You know what? There's two. It's really interesting to me how these are coming. Here's the first card that came. I gotta say, hang on, I gotta toggle back, or I can't tell if when I'm showing the card if it's in the viewer or not. All right, there we go. Let's see. Let me get this. Just move this out of the way. All right, look at that. Spring is coming. That is a judgment card, the judgment of skill. All right. So in this deck, the judgment cards are about when you come to this beautiful place and you have an awakening. You've come through some fairly intense journey. And, you know, I love that there she is. Her vessel is full. She's sitting beside this body of water. It's a beautiful spring or summer day. And look, you know what I love about this card? Check out the shoes. That's the color of transformation. She is clothed in her passion, and her walk has been transformed. It's given me a chill. And she comes to a moment of rest, where she just gets to sit by the pond. Flowers in her hair. Spirit saying she's the butterfly. And just think about where you've been and what it's been like. And process all of that shift and change, all the challenges, all the battles, all the stress, all the worry, all the desire, all the dreams. And just sit in a beautiful spot and daydream. And process and think and rest. And prepare for that which is coming next. That's very interesting. So, I guess at least through the month of March, just chill. Somebody was talking about chilling, right? So just take those moments in and be serious with yourself about it, Spirit says. Allow yourself to daydream. Get a cup of tea. Listen to some music, some vibrational music, if you can, whatever you feel drawn to, and just allow yourself to be in this energy, all right? So here's the other card that came out. The Adventure of Skill. So, obviously, those things come together. When this process of transformation is done, right, and the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, I think it takes about a month. Spirit says, I don't know. Somebody, if you can go to the internet and look that up, I don't know where that came from. So that's the nature of my clairvoyance. I don't have any real idea intellectually. I've never looked. All right. Then we go on the adventure, right? Fully invested with everything that we need. Really eager to go forward. That little fat mouse sitting in a field of grain or wheat or something, a nice day, very mystical surroundings, very eager to get going. And very powerful because it is a tiny little creature. It can go anywhere it wants. If you've ever had a mouse in your house, you know. There's nothing stopping this little guy. They can squeeze through any little crack or crevice. It's very interesting to me. So let me toggle back and look at the chat. There we go. And then I want to do one more thing. I want to pick a rune from the bag of runes. Hang on, I'm just looking at the messages. I swear. Jay Griffin, you're chilling too. Yeah. Mouse in the house, yeah. One time I went out and I was gone for an overnight, and I had been, you know, when you get ready to go on a trip, and I left the back door open. I had been in and out of the back door, and I went out through the front door, and I forgot to latch the back door, so the door hung open for 24 hours. And I want to tell you, some giant field mouse got in my house, and they were rambunctious. They were running up and down the stairs at night. It was kind of comical. 123 says something about the word successful. There's nothing wrong with that. Manifest what you want. Don't we all want to be successful? I think we do. All right, hang on. I'm just going to check in and make sure I'm caught up with messages. Okay, so you're learning to play guitar and singing. Good for you, because you know what? Check it out. There's a lot of energy that comes through the human voice. It is an instrument in and of itself. And this notation of the sacred bard is here. I hope you guys can see that because I'm not in my software. Can you see the card? Somebody let me know on the stream. Hang on. You know, I think... Okay, so there's a thought coming into my head. I'm just going to share it with you because it's feeling like a little bit of a message too. The frustration that I have with this, what I call the silliness, how hard it is to stream and have to deal with two pieces of software and toggle back and forth, blah, blah, blah. It's just not user-friendly. That's my experience of the YouTube streaming. And Spirit's saying, you know what, those frustrations when you're trying to learn something new, those are the things that bring the inspiration that you need to move forward. So I'm feeling like and hopefully maybe in 2018 I'll be moving forward and perhaps doing the live streams from another platform. I don't know. But there you go. Sending out the information, not just the sacred poetry in the form of song, but the vibration that goes with it. And we see that twice. We see it in this notated by the cards in the sacred realm and also on the human realm. And we, in our human form, have to regain this. We have to go find this instrument and cause it to begin to vibrate and rise through the air and return to us. That's what this person had to do. That's why it was an adventure, a very artful adventure. Love it. Love that they're both there on the human realm. All right, so hang on a sec. All right, let me just read all of your thoughts. Oh, you have a YouTube channel. All right, I'm going to check it out. Thank you. That's fun. All right. Hi, Tanya. Hey, welcome. You just stumbled in here by accident? That's awesome. All right, I'm going to pick a room. Going to have to be quiet just for a moment, okay, guys? All right, where's my girlfriend? All right, Spirit's asking me to go get the butterfly before I pick the room, so hang on. I got to get up. Okay. There she is. Hang on right there, honey. There we go. Okay. Let me just... All right. There we go. Can you see her? There she is. See if I can get my hair out of the way. see what we got. Okay, so here's the stone that came out. Whoops, wrong way. Okay, that is the rune of possession. This is a rune of fulfillment, ambition satisfied, love shared, and rewards received. It promises nourishment from the most worldly to the sacred and the divine. Okay, hang on a second before I continue reading this. I'll just put her right up here so you can look at her. Whoops, sorry, honey. I don't know how she tolerates me. There we go. She's just flitting today. All right. This rune promises nourishment. Yeah, she just doesn't want to sit still. She's gone. So she's, she's beginning to be able to fly, I think. And so she was content to sort of hang out with me. Now she's just flitting around the house, and she's found her spot. So perhaps that's part of the message. She has chosen a little spot that she likes to be in. All right. So the rune calls for a deep probing of the meaning of profit and gain. Look with care to know whether it is wealth and possessions that you require for your well-being, or rather self-rule and the growth of your will. Another concern of this rune is to conserve what has already been gained. This rune urges vigilance and continual mindfulness, especially in times of good fortune, for it is then that you are likely to collapse yourself into your success on the one hand, or behave recklessly on the other. Enjoy your good fortune, and remember to share it, for the mark of a well-nourished self is the ability and the willingness to nourish others. That's it. Sometimes it's 2 pages. That was just very brief. So, Spirit's telling us we're coming into this incredibly beautiful time. All the metaphors you want to put on it. Things are blossoming, the world is changing, the seasons are changing, the solstice has come, Spirit says. I know it's a couple days off, but from the solstice in December, now we have continued to evolve, and we have emerged, and we can understand that now that we have gone from that solstice to this solstice, just as spring arrives, at least in the northern hemisphere where I am, we emerge, ready to take flight into this new journey that I've been hearing about for a long time, and that you folks have been telling me about, given the experiences that you are having yourself in your own life. So let me take a look at the messages for a second, then I'm going to sign off, okay? Hang on just a second. There we are. Yeah, isn't it beautiful? And yeah, the synchronicity. It's amazing. Hi, Gia. Thank you very much for that message. Yeah. Synchronicity. Yep. Isn't it amazing? So, gang, you know what? Okay, I'm seeing the message about telling me how to do the Alt tab to shuffle between the applications. Probably that's the easiest way. I think because I have some anxiety about that. I'm worried about not being able to toggle back easily. So Jay Griffin, you're talking about me having been part of a very deep transformation that began last spring, about the time you found your readings. Yeah, and you know what, gang? I started my YouTube channel in February of last year. So, and it was because of a transformation that I was undergoing. I couldn't delay my transformation anymore. And I think that's part of what Spirit's been talking about, this birth process. It happens when it's meant to happen. And I talk to a lot of people who have a lot of concern about the shift and change they want to make in their life, and are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? And I'm a nurse. I worked 40 years as a nurse, and I don't like it. But it's a job. Job is a job, and you got to have money to survive, etc. And there came a moment when I just couldn't do it anymore. I could not function aside from my whole self. And it was very challenging for me. So I do think that there's a group of folks, I sort of consider to some degree the people that we stumble across each other on YouTube. And what a blessing to have that available to us so we can encounter each other all over the world. And I think we just find each other energetically. I had no idea what to expect when I started doing this at all. And I thought, I'm just going to be the laughing stock of YouTube, but I don't know how else to get the messages out. And the universe has provided us with this technology, so let me see if I can figure it out. So if you have a divine inspiration, or you have something inside of you that's trying to, come out of the cocoon and be born, go for it. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? You might fail. Okay, then you try the next idea. So I'm a big fan of that now, having lived through it in my own life a couple of times. So I'm just going to check the clock here and see. Yeah, it's 1:25. So we've been at it for an hour and a half almost. I think I'm going to sign off. Anybody have any questions you want to ask or anything you want to share? Let's take a few minutes and do that, and then we'll sign off. And the next live stream is going to be a month from now. So I think, it's not exactly the same day. It will always be on a Sunday. It will always be at noon on the same Sunday a month from now. So if you have subscribed to the live stream, you will get an email. And if you have not, please do so. It's very helpful to me. I try to keep it really cheap. It's a way for me to have a little bit of income to support my ability to, instead of going to work on this particular day, I get to do this, which gives me a lot of joy. So let me just check the messages again. Somebody's asking me when I first did astral travel. Honestly, when I was very young, and I didn't understand, of course. When you're little, you don't have the concepts. And so I just had to grow into myself. And it took a long time because I was fighting it, because I didn't want to be that weird lady. I've told a lot of my private clients this. It's like, I just wanted to be the average person and have a good life and try to be a good person. And so things were happening all my life, a lot of mystical experiences. So I think my first astral travel, when I remember, was probably when I was in grade school. I didn't understand what it was. And then it just sort of kept happening. And I used to tell people, I can fly. And, you know how people react to a child, right? So if you have a child in your life and they're having those experiences, it might be good to try to nurture that for them. With them so they can develop into themselves. It took me a long time because I didn't have any teachers, and I had to go through my own trials and tribulations in my life, etc. So, the other thing I've been asking everybody is, please give me your desires about what you want these live streams to be about. Sometimes it will be a momentary decision like today, because I had this beautiful visitor and I knew so next month, I am going to try again to schedule the rune reading that came out in the Passage Tomb in October. I've been waiting a long time, and I trust that things come out when they're meant to come out. So I'm going to put that on the schedule again for the next live stream reading, which will be a month from today, more or less, right? So it might be, Spirit's telling me it's the 15th. Today's the 18th. So, the days shift a little bit. The Spirit says because of the cycles of the moon. That's interesting. Oh, you have 123 has work starting tomorrow. That's fun. First job? Congratulations. Good luck. Let's see. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks so much. Hey, live, love, peace. That's great. Congratulations. Anybody who has any kind of ability to help other people around them connect with the spirit realm, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that's great. As long as you can go in your process of development and provide some service, I think it's fantastic. Okay. Folks, thank you so much for being here and for supporting me. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'm going to be really eagerly planning for the rune reading for next month. Okay? So, namaste. I'll look forward to seeing you all. My website is www.moonrisecottage.com. So go and check it out. It's new. It's really beautiful. I'm still building some of it out. I have to go in and, finish in some of the things I have to type in the information, but everything you need functionally is there. Okay? I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.